Boxing. I'd love to introduce you to Coach Erica and Coach Stephanie out of GirlsBoxToo in Charleston, South
Yes.
Carolina. It's so amazing to have you both on. And Erica, I'm really excited to chat with you. From what I've been researching, is you recently opened your gym not too long ago, right? So
Right.
I love to learn just about how these first couple of months are going for you. But I'll have you guys do just a quick intro on who you are and a little bit more about Girls Box too.
Okay, you go ahead. I'm Stephanie, Coach Stephanie. I've been boxing and doing like martial arts since probably about 2007, in one way, shape, or form. I've unfortunately I've only competed once, but I am looking to get back in the ring. Just find it a little difficult to get matched. But I've been a police officer for going on 14 years now. I love what I do. And I am not a Charleston native. I was born and raised in New York. So
Nice. That is awesome. Well, I'm so excited to talk to you about just your career as a police officer. I saw some of your super cool posts on Instagram. I was like, dude, Stephanie's so cool. So I can't wait to
love
talk
that.
about that as well. Erica, what about you?
Okay, so I started boxing very late, maybe in my late 30s. I walked into a fitness boxing gym and I said, I hate running. I tried everything. I swam when I was in college and high school, and I just didn't enjoy that really anymore. But I needed something, and so I said, well, I'll just go into this fitness boxing gym and see what. And I was kind of hooked. And then a few years later, I was still like, oh, I kind of still like this. And you just kind of, yeah, keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then I started training a little bit deeper. Got into, this. Okay, now I'm bored with the fitness thing. What's next? Oh, well, you could spar. And I said, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll do that. And then you get the headgear and the shoes. And, when a girl buys shoes for something, it's all up.
She
It's all
means
uphill.
business.
Yep, that's what you're going to do. So there was no turning back then. All of 2020, 2021, I competed. I probably had 7 fights in 2021 alone.
Wow.
It starts getting a little bit harder to get matched. And so, I just competed for my 10th time in March of last year. Once you hit 10, I was okay to go out on that, but,
That is so cool. And just hearing that you found boxing in your later 30s, did you ever like watch boxing before, or did somebody just kind of tell you, hey, take a boxing fitness class and check it out?
no.
What was that like?
No,
Wow.
it was just in the gym was in the place I was going to pick up my groceries, yo.
I love that.
I was like, let me just see what this is about because if I'm boxing, I don't have to run,
Oh my
which
gosh.
plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I know.
swear it's different though. It's like such a different focus where you're actually not thinking about running anymore because you're thinking about the combos and,
Yeah,
that
right.
stuff. That is awesome. Very cool. And with your first class, do you remember like walking through the door? I don't know if the fitness class you were in, taught punches or, they were like, "Hey, throw your hook or your jab." What was that like? Do you remember that first class?
So they did. They taught really basic punches. I didn't really start learning really good technique until I started, doing one-on-ones, and then learning things like defense. Because the back doesn't hit back, and so
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a different ball game when there's like an actual human in front of you. I felt
exactly.
that myself just from boxing fitness classes to, having a trainer with pads and you're like, "Wait, whoa, this is way different."
So different.
That is for sure. And Stephanie, what about you? How did you find, I know it sounds like you've been in martial arts and all that good stuff. What led you to the boxing world?
So back home in New York, a friend of mine had been taking her son to an MMA and Muay Thai gym that's pretty popular up in the Northeast. And they were having like a, I don't know, like a friends and family day or whatever. And she said, come with me. I was like, I don't know. I've never done this before. I said, whatever, let's give it a shot. That night after that class, I signed up. I was hook, line, and sinker at that point. I fell in love with something that I had never experienced before. So yeah, from that point forward, I had gotten pretty high up into the belts, and basically, they do like this form of martial art. They would do like a high low of the same color belt. So I'm pretty much about 3 belts away from black belt, but life kind of took me down to Charleston, where I wanted to find another gym like I had been training at home.
Mm,
And a lot of the gyms, like wherever you are, they give like a free class or 2 free classes, whatever. So honestly, I was bouncing from gym to gym. I was
yeah.
like, let me try this one, let me try this one, just to see what I liked. If anything reminded me of home, which was, thinking back now, was pretty close-minded of me. But I was craving a little bit of comfort being in a new place anyway.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find anything that was like what I had been doing,
Mm,
that I was comfortable with. So much like Erica, I walked into a fitness boxing gym
yeah.
that was close by my house, that I could just go there right after work conveniently and give it a shot. And I had already had the basics down, so it was kind of a natural transition.
Very cool.
And excuse me, and that I kind of got a little bored with. I did that for a couple of years, and I got a
Mm,
little bored.
mhm.
And
That's what we do.
Like, what's
no, what was
next?
right? Like what was crazy about it was that I didn't realize this until I left the fitness boxing gym and went to like an actual competition gym. But I I didn't realize that in the fitness gym, I was the big fish in the little pond. And then when I went to the competition gym, I was all of a sudden, I was this little fish in the big pond. I was like, this is a whole new world, and I'm here for it.
That's all.
Yeah, but here I am, a lot of
Very
years later.
That's awesome. And I definitely encourage when people are first starting out, maybe you're boxing, like check out a couple gyms because you never know, like you might just get like a better vibe, from one gym to another and really feel, I think being comfortable in a gym is so important,
Yes.
especially, I mean, you're in a sport where, you're going to be like maybe like passing out in the gym, right? Or getting knocked out or just working really, really hard. So, it's just those moments when you really need to dig deep that being comfortable is just so important as well. So that is awesome. And Erica, I'm so curious. What gave you the idea of Girls Box 2? I know you're very focused on all things women in your boxing gym. I've met a couple of other gym owners who specifically only host women. What was that concept like for you? Did you get any pushback early on? Tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I was trying to figure out how to put this into give you the short version because there really isn't a short version.
Yeah.
When I first started boxing, I started seeing, it was hard to find other women to spar,
Mm,
or there would be other women to spar, but they would all be sprinkled among the other gyms. And then there was also the fact that I had a very good experience
mhm.
whenever I would go into other gyms or any gym that I would go into, I was never treated like just another girl. I was never treated like some of the stories that I've heard that how women get treated sometimes. And I mean, we all know. Um, I was very blessed that I didn't. I just always felt like I was respected as a boxer, and I wasn't looked at as just a girl who. And I felt like the other coaches took me seriously. I felt like the other coaches respected me. When I came up in their gym, so I had a really good experience. But I'd heard stories, especially of generations before mine, that they weren't very good experiences. And then we have other things, like finding cute shorts to wear to compete in. It's just these little simple things, And then I'd sit around and we the girls would sit around, after class, and we'd be starting to talk about, how'd your sparring go, and then sparring with guys, and the guys. I love them, but it's always different. I spar with the guys, but then I get in the ring and it was like, whoa, this girl is hitting me like not like any of those guys did. And
Totally.
it's just, girl, it's different.
Yeah.
While they were giving me really good work, it was just different.
Yeah.
So, so when it came time to branch out on my own and say, what do I want to do? I said, I think I want to open an all female boxing gym, and I did let all of the other coaches in the area know, who I had worked with over the past, 5 years. Yeah. Yeah, reached out to them, and they were so supportive, so encouraging. Anything you need, let me know, that kind of thing. So,
That's awesome.
so no, I didn't get a lot of pushback. I did have a couple of coaches who were like, here's some things you might want to be, you'll learn, and but good luck. so,
Yeah.
so there wasn't a lot of pushback.
That is awesome. And you guys are the only female gym in Charleston. So I think that is huge. Definitely want to shout that out. So very cool. Has there been anything surprising? I feel like just owning any business in general, there's just so much that comes with it, right? Is there anything like really surprising or maybe something that you didn't expect that you didn't think you were going to be doing?
Getting bullied by teenage girls.
Teenage
That was
girl.
definitely unexpected. Like, you know what? It was unexpected, but I also was not expecting how much I would love them and love that they do it. Yeah. Uh, we have so much fun in here. It's a roller coaster. I think we have fun getting to know them. Like my youngest is 6. Then we've got older ladies who come in their 50s.
That's
So,
so
the age, the gap, so it's crazy. But, and then we've got teenage girls and that was very surprising that I would enjoy getting bullied every day. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
I feel
They
like
keep us on our toes.
the
Yes.
teenager smack talk is just on another level these days.
They've taught me how to.
They're trying to teach us the lingo.
Yes.
The lingo. Yeah, I wouldn't even know that it's for
That goes
sure.
in one ear and out the other for us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, seriously. And Stephanie, I know you had mentioned this in the beginning, but thank you again so much for your service. I know that you're in law enforcement. What led you to want to be in law enforcement and in protecting and serving?
Yeah, so I'm actually only the second police officer in my family. My uncle, my mom's brother, he was in law enforcement when I was really little. He wasn't in law enforcement terribly long. He ended up getting pretty badly injured on the job. He was mounted patrol in New York for NYPD. And but growing up and seeing him in his uniform was always just like, like the star eye emoji. So that was just always really cool. And then being in New York, obviously, I was there. I watched it just about live, the whole 9/11 thing. So experiencing that and seeing what my uncle did, and I was like, this is kind of a no-brainer for me. This is what I want to do, and I'm really happy with my decision. I did get into law enforcement later in life than I wanted to, but I'm glad that I did it.
That is awesome. Your SWAT gear looks so cool. I was like, this girl's so cool. But
Fortunately, I'm not SWAT anymore. But yeah, I was on my former department's SWAT team for
that's awesome.
just shy of 5 years.
Very cool. And what sort of like key skills or lessons would you say that you are taking with you from boxing in your day to day in law enforcement?
Yeah. So oddly, keeping your distance. That's a good one.
Knowing your range.
Knowing
It's gonna
your
be the best
range.
one. Yeah.
Definitely. And you know, the similarities between certain things that I do in law enforcement and, you know, do in boxing are just like, they just kind of, they blend. You know, keeping your strong side back, blading your stance and everything when you're talking to people, keeping your hands kind of at that low ready position, in a sense. Definitely, resiliency. Resiliency is a really big one, because, you know, you can have a bad day on the road and, you know, get into a fight or whatever the case may be out there. Or you can have a bad day in here and get punched square in the head, square in the face, and your head rocks back, and you're like, I don't ever want to do this again. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Like I'll be back.
exactly. You know, it's just
Very
like,
cool.
it's just kind of fighting through it, fighting through the pain,
Yeah.
fighting through the adversity, and just coming
Yeah.
back for more.
Yeah, it's very cool when you think about boxing and how aggressive of a sport it is. It's really interesting when you hear like, you know, some of the themes that come out are patience, right? Just really learning patience, and especially when you're starting out, the art of listening is so huge. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Very cool.
And how to relax.
Right? Like, oh my
Totally.
gosh. All the time, right? I'm so curious, Stephanie, what got you to want to start coaching, and really helping people learn this awesome art form?
Well, so I am actually, I love teaching. I love it. And I'm actually an instructor in a lot of different areas in law enforcement.
Nice.
So I hold a lot of different instructorship certifications, where, you know, my department will call on me to help instruct certain things and whatever. And I never realized how much I enjoyed teaching until I got into the instructor part of law enforcement. So that being said, when the opportunity presented itself to become a coach within something else that I love, I was like, hey, wait a minute. This might be an easy yes for me.
Very
And it was, and I'm so happy that I did it.
very
You know, I
cool.
really enjoy it.
Very cool. And when you maybe first have that person that hasn't really boxed before, right? And maybe you're doing like a personal training session or something like that, what's your favorite maybe skill or, you know, combo
Yeah.
to teach when people are first starting out?
So let me just start off by saying that when I get somebody in here that has never stepped foot into a boxing gym before, fitness or otherwise, they are my favorite type of student because they're moldable and they're willing and they're ready and they just want to come in and they're ready to just do the thing, you know, and I love that, you know. What I really enjoy teaching, and I love like if we get like a new client, Erica will go ahead and teach the more advanced students, and I'll typically take the new client. I love teaching the new clients, and really one of the things that I enjoy showing them is one of the simplest things. It's the weight transfer.
Mm. Oh yeah.
You know, like I will spend a good portion of time with them just forward back, you know, and just like showing them like it's just wait here, wait here. If you can do this, we can conquer the rest of everything else in boxing, you know, and the importance of that weight transfer and what it does, what happens when you don't have it, when you don't do it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I love showing them that, how
Very,
simple that is and how it just carries you through boxing.
very
Yes.
Because
cool.
boxing is a lot about like feeling, like knowing your body,
Mind body connection, really.
learning how long your arms are. You're
Right.
learning, like, you know, make your brain and your feet know how long your arms are. To That's what you call learning your range
Yeah.
and
Yes.
knowing your range. So, you know, it's a lot of
Yeah, there's so many different just layers and skills to learn in boxing, and I think that's the beauty of boxing is like you're never going to stop learning. There's always something
Exactly.
new to learn or improve on. That is for sure. And Coach Erica, I saw that in I think you had just mentioned this. You had a bout in the Masters female division for the South Carolina, was it the Golden Gloves?
So yeah, so
Was it
that was a few
20?
years ago.
Okay.
I had only 8 of my 10 fights were masters
Wow, very
because
cool.
I started late
Yeah.
for 40. So once I turned 41, there was no more fighting anybody who was 20 years old anymore. It was rough. So yeah, so I did yes, and that was I had a tough opponent. She did not make it
Yeah.
easy, but
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, very cool. And what does competing mean to you? It's so cool that, not only are you a coach, not only are you an owner, but competing. That's unbelievable.
That was really something that I set out to prove to myself that I could do it. I was not a natural athlete. I was not naturally. I mean, like I said, I did not enjoy running. I was not, but I needed something to do that would give me, maximize the time that I was spending.
Sure.
So, I was a swimmer, and then really the only reason I did that is because you didn't really have to try out to make the team. You just showed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that story just on how like boxing really, really hooked you to go so far in the boxing world. So I love that. And Coach Erica, how can people connect with you and check out your gym?
Yeah, so we've got our website, girlsboxtoo.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. That's pretty much it. I got my personal phone numbers everywhere. So
Yeah.
if you're a scammer, spammer,
We'll definitely I'll definitely get your
so you can
your
get in touch
Insta
with
out
me.
there.
Yeah, you can text me, Instagram message, Facebook message. I make myself easily
Good.
accessible 24/7.
That is awesome. And I love your focus, especially on the youth. Tell me a little bit. I was looking at your website. Tell me about your Pee Wee program.
Right. So that is actually something I recently fell in love with. Those kids come in and they're like, "Can we come every day?" But it challenged me as a coach as well because I
Mm,
had never really worked with kids that young before,
yeah.
and you have to figure out ways to teach them because you can't say stand on your feet 50-50 because they don't know fractions. That is, they
Right,
don't know
right.
what
They're like, what's
50% is.
that?
They don't know percentages. And so you have to learn different ways to teach them, and kids are they will remember every single thing you say. So you have to be careful what you say too.
They're like, Coach Erica said, no.
Yes, yes. So I started out. So you start out and figure out like, okay, and how does this one learn the best? And I've got one little girl. She's a little beast. She loves doing push-ups, and it's like, okay, well, that's what you're gonna do for your warm-up, sure. And you kind of let them lead a little bit, and then okay, well, all right, I'm going to teach you, and I go into it knowing I'm going to teach you this one thing.
Hmm.
We either build off of it and just because they're attention spans, not like
You're like, I have to keep your attention for a very short period of time.
yes,
That is
yes.
awesome. But I love that just in general, especially for girls out there. I wish I knew about boxing when I was a teenager. Like I fell in love with
Me too.
watching boxing later on in life, and I'm like, wow, I just wish that I had that in my teenage years and when I was a little kid for sure.
Yeah. And you asked that earlier if I watched boxing before. I didn't really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I remember when I was younger, Mike Tyson would be on like HBO, like we had
Yeah.
HBO, back in the day before you,
Yeah.
and before you had to pay $100 to see one fight. I remember Mike Tyson being on the whatever it was, and but I don't think I really was interested or watched it back then. My family wasn't really into boxing.
Yeah.
But when I decided that I wanted to compete, I did go back through and I watched the female fights, Ann
Mm,
Wolf, Christy Martin,
yes.
just went through and just like, how do I knock somebody out? What is that? What is the trick to that? She did. I think it's we wear headgear, so it's a little bit tougher to do. I just went through and just researched as much as I could, and I watched all those fights, and especially all the older female fights.
Yes.
And then you get to know, like, the Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, and then you watch and you research and you watch their stories and you see the work that they've had to put in, and I do get a little jealous sometimes that they were able to start when they were so young and
Right? Oh my gosh. And just speaking about Katie Taylor, I saw, I think 2026, this is her going to be her last fight year. And it's been really incredible just to see, these female fighters and like how much work they've had to put in to the sport to have more people come up, which is awesome. But Erica, just going off of, your time watching those videos, I was actually watching a couple of videos on you, and oh my gosh, you have a very mean looking jab, girlfriend. Very mean looking jab.
that she does. I've been hit by it a couple times.
I'm like, wait, her arm goes so far. Like, what's going on? Oh, it's crazy. What's your favorite punch to throw, Erica?
So it's really funny that you say that because the jab was never really, I never thought that was one of my strongest ones, but you brought up Golden Gloves. And that was actually where I found my jab in Golden
Ah,
Gloves. But it was the fact that I had to use it because that was really the only thing that was working in that particular fight. And, so then when I come back to the gym, I'm like, guys, let me tell you this little secret. And I don't know, I never thought I was a short person until I started boxing. And I'm
mm,
5'5",
yeah.
but, all of my opponents would be so much taller than me. And so I had to figure out how to make myself longer and how to,
Yes.
so that was kind of how it ended up being my stronger punch because this was
Mm,
the hooks I kind of thought were always my stronger, but I started having some shoulder issues, but I can tell you after that particular fight, I woke up the next morning and I was very sore from jabbing, and I've never had that before. So I guess but the jab is the most important punch in boxing.
so important. Yeah.
So that it just became my favorite punch, and it's my favorite one to teach now too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, your extension is just, I was like, wait, what? Like, so your arms, whoa,
Yes, because I was short and I
amazing.
had to learn how to make myself taller. No,
Yeah, that is awesome. What about you, Stephanie? What's your favorite punch to throw?
Um, I have very long arms for my height, so I'm big jab girl, but
yeah, she's fun to spar.
No.
but like I utilize the jab a lot. But I don't utilize it enough, but I do love my rear hook.
Mm,
It's just got a little spice to it, and I love my rear hook. It's just got enough little like snap to it. But yeah, I gotta use it more.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
but
Very
when you get
cool.
when you get my age,
Okay. What she forgets is that I'm only 3 years behind her.
Like the sad thing is I might be older than both of you guys. So I'm
No
like, oh
way.
man. Yes,
No.
I'm checking in at 42 over here. So
All
no,
right.
I love it. I
I
love it.
got you.
I think this age is awesome. Like, there's a little bit more like like tending to your body that you need to have happen after, and
yes,
I didn't
yes.
realize I would warm up for so long before every class and
Yeah.
session. But
So when you get 45, you really only want to throw jabs and crosses. If
exactly. You're
if
in,
you're
you're
ever
out.
going to
You're
throw
in,
a
you're out.
cross.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. What about your favorite fighters right now? Stephanie, who's your favorite fighter?
So, I mean, I'd have to say, like, just kind of based off of like the backstory, I love like Clarissa Shields.
Hmm.
I just so being somebody that has like been in a male dominated field, like career field, and now a male dominated extracurricular activity, if you want to call it. I just like I've always kind of felt that um like that fighter's attitude. Like I've always just wanted to kind of like claw my way to the top, and I love that she had to do that for herself. just kind of just fighting her way to the top, no pun intended, but had to like fight her way to the top to get to where she's at. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. Like I've never been, like being on a SWAT team or anything, I've never been, ironically, I've never been like the go girls, we can do anything. I'm not that kind of a girl.
Yeah.
I'm the do something for you because you want to do it. Don't do it to prove it to the boys that you can do it. Do it to prove to you that you can do it. I wasn't on the SWAT team to show the boys that I could do it. I was on the SWAT team because as soon as I became a police officer, I knew that was what I wanted to do. And I
Nice.
waited until the time was right for me to do it.
Nice.
I don't get in there and spar to show the boys that I can do it. I do it to prove it to me.
Nice.
So, that's just
Yeah.
kind of where I found myself.
Yeah, I love that. And Clarissa she's such an enigma. Like I've been researching
The
a
white boy.
lot. Yeah, I've been researching a lot about her and just everything. She's such a trailblazer that she's been doing. And she's so different that sometimes she gets so much hate and I always find that so interesting, just like the why, right? And sometimes it's like the fear of the unknown and she's special, she's so different.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. What about you, Erica?
So, I thought about this question for a little while, and I can say like I don't really have a favorite fighter. But every time, and I'll equate this back in a minute, but every time I walk or learn about a new fighter or learn their backstory, they kind of become my favorite. You see what I'm saying?
In the
Yes.
moment.
In that
Yeah.
moment, because it's always something to admire about somebody who goes through what they go through, even training, the dedication that they put in. And I tell my girls, it's like we have that kind of a little actual joke around the gym about who my favorite is, who Coach Stephanie's favorite is, and we joke around about it. But I have to tell them at the end of the day, you're all my favorites
Mm.
because you're my favorite because of you, because of this, and you're my favorite because of this, and you're my favorite because of this, and you're all special to me because of different reasons. And so that's kind of I have favorites, but I don't have a
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I created Boxing Bells. Like, no matter who I've been meeting in this boxing world, the stories that you get to hear, like Coach Erica, I didn't know you found boxing so late in life, and it's so impressive to see what you've done with just getting hooked on hooks, right? It's so awesome, and I think the stories just need to be shared and they need to be put out there, and that is amazing. So very cool. And some final questions here, Coach Stephanie. Why do you love working at Girls Box Two?
It's just, well, I get to spend a lot of time with one of my best friends. So that's always awesome.
Very cool.
I love what it brings to the girls in the community. Like we joked around earlier and saying that, especially like our teens and preteens, they come in there with that fresh attitude. But you know what? Like I wouldn't trade it for the world because I've gotten to see these girls who've never done anything like it get to where like we just had one compete for the first time,
Huge.
and like that was like that feeling was like none other. Like
Yeah.
just standing in her corner and, like having her back and screaming things till I almost didn't have a voice today. I ran out of voice yesterday. But like that was it's just watching the growth and watching the camaraderie build because all of these girls like didn't know each other before they came here. Now they're all like they came to the fights to cheer on the other one and it was beautiful.
I love
And
that.
I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's one really cool thing about, the communities that you do build in boxing. They really end up being so strong. Like you had mentioned, Erica, when, a couple of other gym houses were like, "Hey, good luck. Let me know if you need anything." I think that's always pretty cool in the boxing community as well. So, very cool. Well, Erica and Stephanie, thank you so much for being on Boxing Bells. I love being able to chat with you and share your story. And I cannot wait to come out to Charleston. You have no idea. It's one of
Or you
my
have to
Fine.
have
favorite
to
little
visit us.
towns. So
Yeah.
I
And
love it.
thank you for having us.
Yeah, Yes. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk soon. Thank you. All
Absolutely.
right.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.